In 1989, Benny Hill filmed a scene that would destroy everything. For 34 years, his show made millions laugh. But this one sketch changed it all. Within 48 hours, 20,047 complaints flooded in. Sponsors pulled out overnight. Feminists launched protests. Even his biggest fans turned away. The BBC called it the moment comedy died. What made this scene different from thousands before it? Why did executives panic and order every copy destroyed? The truth is more disturbing than anyone imagined. Benny Hill's sense of humor didn't come out of nowhere. It was in his blood. His grandfather, Henry Hill, worked as a circus clown in Southampton between 1890 and 1910. Henry wasn't just any clown. He was known for pratfalls, those funny, exaggerated falls and silent mime acts that could make a crowd burst out laughing. But what really made him special was how he pulled the audience into the act. He would make eye contact, improvise on the spot, and turn strangers into part of the show. This wasn't just talent. It became a family tradition. Benny's father, Alfred, joined the circus at 16 and continued the legacy. Their small flat above a butcher's shop wasn't just a home. It was a training ground. It was here that the Hill family's comedy roots grew even deeper, laying the groundwork for everything Benny would later become. Sunday afternoons in that cramped flat were anything but quiet. Alfred would turn the living room into a comedy classroom. From the age of 8, Benny learned the art of falling without getting hurt, matching facial expressions to punchlines, and using everyday furniture as props. It wasn't just play. It was practice. Alfred drilled him with routines, and Benny copied every move. Timing was everything, and even the creaky floorboards and meat smells from the butcher shop became part of the atmosphere that shaped his imagination. What started as father-son bonding became a full-blown comedy education. Years later, when Benny changed characters in seconds or nailed a slapstick scene on TV, it all traced back to those Sundays, filled with laughter, discipline, and trial and error comedy. But comedy wasn't the only thing that shaped him. As a teen, Benny worked with Hans Dairy and Eastleigh, helping deliver milk in the cold, dark mornings. He guided a horse-drawn cart through empty streets, meeting quirky people and watching odd little moments unfold. Years later, he turned those memories into a song. Ernie, the fastest milkman in the West. It sold over 400,000 copies and stayed at #1 on the UK charts for 4 weeks in 1971. The character of Ernie was based on real life, including a bread delivery driver named Ted, who Benny once competed with. But then in 1942, everything changed. Benny was drafted into the British Army. He started as a mechanic, then moved to the Royal Engineers as a searchlight operator. Even in uniform, he couldn't stop performing. He entertained soldiers with songs, skits, and impressions. Those troupe shows became his first real stage. They taught him how to read a crowd, how to adapt, and how to make laughter out of anything, no matter how tough life got. Then came the moment that changed his life and British comedy forever. On March 23, 1949, Benny appeared on a BBC variety show called Music Hall. It was one of his first times on television, a brand new medium back then. Most comedians didn't know how to use TV to their advantage, but Benny saw what it could be. He understood that TV needed speed, costumes, camera tricks, and big facial expressions. Over the next few years, he showed up on programs like Mud in Your Eye and Hi There, creating a style that was fast, silly, and sharp. He'd change characters in seconds and break the fourth wall to talk straight to viewers at home. By the early 1950s, he wasn't just some new comic. He was someone rewriting the rules of comedy for the TV age. By 1954, just 5 years after that first TV appearance, Benny was voted Television Personality of the Year. That wasn't just a nice trophy. It meant he'd officially arrived. British audiences loved him. His comedy wasn't stuck in the past. It was fresh, visual, and playful. He'd write his own material, constantly try new characters, and parody whatever was trending at the time. Winning that award also paved the way for something even bigger. The launch of the Benny Hill Show in 1955, what started as one man's experiment, became one of the most iconic and influential comedy shows in British history. But Benny didn't carry the show alone. One of the most important pieces of the puzzle was Henry McGee. Born in 1928, McGee originally wanted to be a doctor, but when his father died, he turned to acting instead. He trained at the Italia Conti Stage Academy and worked in theater before joining the Benny Hill Show in 1969. For more than 2 decades, he played the calm, well-spoken man surrounded by madness. McGee was the perfect straight face in the middle of chaos, never cracking even when things got wild. And then there was Jackie Wright, the tiny, bald man with the most slapped head in Britain. Born in Belfast in 1904, Jackie was just 4 feet 11 inches in tall. He started out as a car body assembler for Cadillac in the US, but returned to the UK during the Great Depression and ended up in Music Hall. Benny spotted him in the 1960s and he quickly became a fan favorite. Bob Todd brought a different energy to the team. Born in 1922 in Kent, he started out studying dentistry, joined the RAF during the war, and even tried farming. His big break came when he met writers Ray Galton and Alan Simpson in a pub. Bob had a droopy face and a gift for looking confused, which made him perfect for playing policemen, generals, or judges who'd fall flat on their faces. He joined the show in 1968 and stayed until the end. As the show evolved, Benny added something new. Hill's Angels. These were the dancing women who started appearing in the 1980s. Their presence made the show flashier, sexier, and also more controversial. Dancers like Sue Bond and Anna Dawson became stars in their own right. Their routines were choreographed to perfection and mixed comedy with bold costumes. Some people accused the show of objectifying women, but many of the dancers later said they had full control over what they wore and how they performed. What kept all of this working, though, was Benny's unique way of casting people. He didn't care much about traditional acting or fancy dialogue. He wanted performers who could fall down, pull faces, dance, and react fast. He often chose dancers or regular folks with good timing over trained actors. That's how he found stars like Jackie Wright and Bob Todd. Even the Angels were picked for how well they moved and reacted on camera. On January 15, 1955, Benny Hill changed British television forever. His new show on BBC One wasn't loud or offensive.